huge pleasure. I think this is the third or the fourth time I've interviewed you. I said after Bloodstock I could literally talk to you for hours. So many stories about Sabaton to tell me. Unfortunately, as we're well aware, we only have 15 minutes. So I thought I'd do something a little bit different this time. This is a new step up for Sabaton. It's something new. It's almost like the start of a next stage of a journey in a way. So I thought we'd go back, and I got Austin over there to write the questions for me.
Oh, okay.
So I've got one question I'm going to try and remember to pop on at the end, but Austin came up with these ones for you. So some of these questions might be ones you've not been asked for a few years.
Maybe.
It'll be quite nice. So question for Austin. How did Sabaton start?
All right. Well, I guess we start like most bands do. You're a couple of guys hanging out and you want to be in a band.
Mm-hmm.
And you just talk about it while you are partying and drinking, and then eventually you decide that let's go to a rehearsal room and bring our instruments to see what gets out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the way it started for Sabaton as well. And sure, in the beginning there are all these, like, one guy comes and another enters the band. It's before we were like called Sabaton, we were called Ion, and there was no music recorded at this time or anything. We just rehearsed a couple of times, and we switched around quite a lot in band members before we find something stable.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess of course there are all these details that I could tell you for 2 hours about it, but I think that things got interesting around year 99, 2000, when we called ourselves Sabaton. We played at local venues, at local clubs and whatever we could find, and we gathered a following, and that we just kept going.
So why did you want to call the band? Well, when you changed the name and formalised it, and that was what you're going to stick with, why did you pick Sabaton as a name?
Well, internet was not so widely used in 98 as it is today, so we couldn't access everything, but when around there we found out that there was some other band called Ion. Mm-hmm. We didn't know about them, so okay, we can't do that, so we need a new name, and we just put a couple of names to the table. Mm-hmm. And we had a friend of us who drew a couple of logotypes for the different. Yeah. We thought Sabaton looks cool. There was no more thoughts to it than that at the moment. And maybe a little bit like Sabaton. I mean, what it is, it's like a heavy metal boot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. Kick somebody with heavy metal.
Mm-hmm. And it's got the heavy metal demand of, it's got 3 syllables.
Yeah.
Sabaton. I mean, you can't chant anything that doesn't have 3 syllables.
No, that's true.
So why did you choose the bass as your instrument? Do you play anything else, or was the bass your first choice?
Well, I didn't play anything first. And then a guy came in school and he said, "You have long hair and listen to heavy metal. Do you want to be in a band?" And I said, "I can't play anything." And he said, "It's fine. I teach you." And so he played guitar. Mm-hmm. He's like, "I teach you to play bass." Fair enough. I play bass. That's the way it is. I didn't choose like anything and had no other things. And I never had any vision to explore it further. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of good guys in the band who play all kind of instruments. Mm-hmm. I'm fine with this.
Yeah,
I do other stuff.
So you kind of just fell into it.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you? The question I've got here is, what made you want to be metal? We'll go into it.
Yeah, well, when I was small, my sister fed me with any kind of music she was listening to and actually not listening to, because she gave me the CDs that was last month's top songs. Yeah. And so I inherited whatever music that she didn't want, basically. Mm-hmm. And at one point, our neighbor, which was her best friend, came in and said, "You have to stop teaching your little brother to listen to crap music. He needs to have a proper thing." Mm-hmm. And so Matthias was his name. He showed me his Iron Maiden posters. He had a Marshall amplifier, played some guitar riffs, played along with Iron Maiden, and showed it me. And then it was like, wow, this, what a sound, what a cool, and all the posters and stuff. Then I was hooked.
So that was you. So was it Iron Maiden the first band you really followed yourself? Or?
Yeah. I liked bands like Metallica and Guns N' Roses before, because everybody did it, because it was in the charts, it was popular, and my sister didn't like it, so she gave me those, and so I inherited some of that as well, along with whatever else that she.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Can you remember? Was there anything she gave you that you decided you didn't like?
That's most, I guess.
Fair enough. So on the musical journey, the first album is actually kind of the standalone one. It was after that you came up with the theme with the battles and the history and so forth. What was it that made you decide this was going to be what you're going to be doing all the time? Fans' reactions and our own feelings. Like, okay, this felt great writing it. The first album, which was topics about general whatever, we couldn't. It was just necessary evil to write the lyrics. Yeah.
But once we did Prima Victoria, we felt, okay, lyrics have a meaning. And fans said, wow, this is so cool. And we thought, they'd want it, and we are happy to write it instead of writing something necessary evil. So we were done with it after that. Like, okay, cool. Let's stick with it for a while. We did Ater Dominatus. Fans were deeply connected into it, and then we were kind of stuck into it.
Yeah.
And now it's difficult to walk another way. But I don't want to.
Yeah, it's led you on to some really special stuff as well, like Carolus Rex, KDR photographer. So you played that album in full at the very castle where the story is set. Was that the last time they held the festival at that venue?
Fortress. Yeah.
Yeah. It's last time. I mean, what a way to send it off. Yeah.
It was a good night, a good show. We brought Caroleans to the stage, Swedish Army. We resurrected the Swedish King and let him sit on the throne again in the castle. And do you know a funny fact about that? The guy who played the Swedish King.
Yeah.
Okay, this is 300 years after the Swedish King was killed at that place. He looks like him. You know why?
He's related, is he?
He's direct bloodline.
Did you know that beforehand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We found out, so, and he's a reenactor playing Carolus Rex.
Wow.
And he's related to it.
He's allowed to then.
So, he's allowed. And it was, it was not his first time coming to this place. But it's kind of cool, to have him on the stage, being shot and carried away from there. It was,
Fantastic. Here's a question. I've not asked this before, and I think it's a really good question. What's your favourite thing about Sabaton? About being in it, about the band itself? What's your favourite thing about it?
Oh. I like all, for me it's the package. I like the traveling. I like the playing on stage. I like the rehearsals. I like the working on the songs. I like doing Sabaton History Channel. I like doing talking about it. I like the business part of it. I like the planning, the execution of ideas. So for me, it's the package.
Yep.
I can't really take out this or that, but maybe as being on stage, that is the top one.
Yeah.
But I like so much the other stuff as well, which makes me quite unique, because most artists, they complain about the travels, the waiting, the blah blah blah, and I enjoy every part of it. Bus, I love it. Flights, I love it. I'm fine.
Yeah. If you could choose another kind of music to play other than metal, what niche do you think you'd find yourself in?
Then I would play white noise. No, I don't know. No, but actually, I don't know. Movie soundtracks or something epic.
That would actually work with some of the stuff you've done, yeah.
Something like that. But other music genre, nah.
Nothing. Metal or nothing. This is why we like you. One of the reasons. Anyway.
Yeah.
One question for myself at the end. I mentioned, what has Joachim got against Swedish pagans? Because we mean to ask you this for years. Every time we see the band,
he doesn't have anything against it, and it's just a little bit like teasing, funny thing. And but when he presented the song for the first time, it was actually he was the only one who liked it. So it's reversed a little bit.
It's just every time I've seen you, they've done it in a different way. Vakin was probably the best I've ever seen, when you have your guest musician comes on, starts to play it on the cello.
That was something, yeah.
That was an incredible show.
Yeah, it was.
So,
Tina.
she was obviously fantastic. What impressed me was so many members of the crowd actually seemed to recognise her as well. But she had posters up her back, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Tina is a super good friend now, and we constantly talk about maybe we can do something again in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you've got this thing about people with like stringed instruments joining in with the band, and I gather we might be seeing some of that tonight.
You might see some of that tonight. You will see. You will see 3 people with string instruments on tonight.
So, I've got time for one more. It's very quickly. How did the relationship with Apocalyptica start?
So I was sitting in my office and thinking about which bands we're gonna bring on this tour. This is about 2 years ago or something like this, a little bit more. But me and my assistant are sitting, and I'm challenging like this or that, and we're looking into numbers of sales of different artists, and we are looking and listening to a lot. We are having this session, and then she's like, "What about Apocalyptica?" Because she was playing this, and she had been to a show of Apocalyptica in Athens, and I'm like, "This is interesting." And we were listening, and I saw in my head how we could, do something deeper than just have them as a special guest or something. Mm-hmm. So I got some ideas. I checked the schedule of them. I saw they had a show in Madrid. I get on the flight immediately. I fly down to Madrid. I meet with the guys, and I say, "Hey, I have an idea." And they were like, "Whoa!" They hadn't been because last time they supported something I heard was they supported Rammstein in 2004. So they don't really go on support tours that often, if I understand it. And they were like, "Wow, that's so weird for us, but maybe." Yeah. And then we were talking, and they liked the idea of because I didn't just present the idea that they go on tour with us. I presented so many different things I wanted them to make the song to be released before us, and I wanted to have write songs together, to perform together. So I wanted to invite them to Sabaton open air, and so they were like, "Wow, this is a whole thing behind it." And in the end, now we're here. Now we're almost done with it. It feels horrible because I love it a lot. Turned out really good. Everything with them, we're all happy. It was a good, successful thing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The band I've been wanting to see on stage for ages and just haven't been able to catch. This is just perfect.
They're awesome.
Yeah, so I've heard. Pär, thank you very much for your time. I can't wait to see what you've got coming up in the next couple of years. I'm sure it's already buzzing around in your head. But
yes, we're already. My focus is already for the next arena tour. So this one, I'm just enjoying and having fun. Mm-hmm. But bookings are already, and stage plans, it's already there.
Fantastic, looking forward to it already.
There's no lack of creativity.
I can tell. Smashing. Thanks very much indeed for your time.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the show tonight. Thanks very much. Cheers.